What's up, guys? So, today I'm going to talk about my season, and this is going to be a story. I hope you really enjoy the story. Part 1. No pool, no nothing. On a Tuesday afternoon, we we had a dual meet against Folsom High had a dual meet against Oak Ridge. And we basically just went to the pool. It was a dual meet. I had modest expectations for myself. Wanted to do better than the last meet, and circumstances looked pretty favorable. Had my friends with me, had the Oak Ridge bros with me. So the meet happened as usual. Swam a solid 2 free, which isn't good now, but it was all right back then. And then came the 5 free, and before I was daring my friend I was gonna do a 500 fly, and they were like, "No, you're not gonna do it." And then I'm like, "Well, okay, let's try it." So then I swam the whole 500 butterfly, and it was so lit that that the opponent team Oak Ridge was actually cheering me on, and the Vista, the Lago people, because we practiced at another school's pool since our school is too lazy to build a pool. So yeah, that day was kind of lit, and then came COVID, which just shut everything down. And it was a really devastating thing. So then during COVID, what happened was that our coach asked us to journal certain aspects of swimming, like breakouts, underwaters, churns, and all that kind of good stuff. Swimmers know, and that's when I started like actually kind of taking swimming seriously. Even though I would consider myself a slacker till now, but but the thing is, we had to journal and 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 we were supposed to participate in dryland workouts, I guess, which were just a bunch of exercises to keep us fit during COVID. So if we could go back in the pool, we wouldn't be feeling all terrible. So yeah, that's how 3 months of time out of the pool goes until this one day where we're allowed to go to Folsom Lake to do an open water practice. That day was nice. Finally got to see friends after I couldn't see them for 3 months. And I was happy. That was a fun practice, even though we were all like really out of shape. And yeah. So so beginning around mid to late June, I say I forgot the exact date, but like it was around then. We got limited time in the pool because the rule was one person per lane. We had one facility, one person a lane. So yeah, when you have a gigantic team like the Sierra Marlins of a couple hundred people, you're gonna have to. It's gonna be hard to space us. So yeah, we're reduced to 2.5 hours of swim time. But I guess that's better than nothing, so I'll take it. And I was basically just through the summer. Practice was pretty chill. Like we didn't do anything that hard. And the good thing was that like we often worked on technique because technique is kind of fundamental to a good season. If your technique sucks, then you're not going to swim fast, obviously. So that's how it goes throughout the summer. Didn't have much fun because of COVID, but yeah, I was still happy that I got to go swim. And then like just as the pandemic was kind of receding, and it seemed like we could get more practices for the first time in a while. Wildfires came, and then they prevented us from swimming because California had a heat wave, and we're always prone to wildfires. But that heat wave was so bad, and there were like lightning strikes, so huge fires got ignited, which worsened air quality all throughout the state. And as a result, we couldn't even swim for months. All that good time effort we put in to try to get swimmers back in the water was just thrown out again because of these wildfires. So this goes on throughout late August and all of September, but eventually wildfires kind of subside by October, and we're finally allowed to get good practice in, like not like interrupted practice, but good practice. But the problem now is that like because of scheduling issues and they still want to maximize time. They're like, okay, we're going to push people into the morning practices. And unfortunately for our group, they're like, okay, we're going to make 5 days a week at in the early morning. And I'm like, bruh, no, what are you trying to do to us? Are you trying to sleep deprive us, or because we need sleep? So yeah, it becomes miserable, and we have to get up early when distance learning offers you the chance to get up at 8:29, or like 30 seconds before your class. But we have to get up early, like 3.5 hours before people who, all you non-athletes, and it becomes really miserable. Especially later, it was around late October or early November when it'd be dropped down to like 30 something degrees. And yeah, that's cold. Well, if you don't know, especially when all you have is like a speedo on. But the good thing about this time is that like we got shifted to another coach, and practice was kind of chill. We spent like a good chunk of practice each day just working on crossover turns. So that was kind of nice. Now now I want to bring attention to like swim meets. So we had one meet in August that I didn't go, and then finally in October I went to like a meet and I did a bunch of events. Did like 2 IM and all the hundreds and 50 free. Like, and it was called a mixed bag meet. I did okay there. I didn't do that great, but I was still satisfied with myself, especially with my butterfly 1010272. I liked it. But yeah, I was pretty happy that I finally got a chance to race competitively, even if it wasn't the best time, the best ideal time. And then around November, we got another shift because they were like, okay, no more 5 days a week of 5 a.m., but we have to do 3 days a week of 5 a.m., and that's still miserable. So yeah, I don't know if it's much better of a deal. And practices start to get harder by November. So yeah, I don't know if it's a better deal in November. So the good thing about November were that there were two meets. One was the Las Vegas Super Finals, and the other was like Gobbler. I didn't go to the Super Finals because I was busy that weekend, but that was the first like actually fast meet. Like a lot of people dropped a ton of time, and I was like just shocked by people's performances. And then the meet I went to was a Gobbler. That meet was looking to be good, but apparently because of COVID protocols, they split up the sessions, and I was like just bummed out from it. My performance, except in butterfly, was kind of bad, but again at that time, FYI, I didn't really care too much about the sport. Like I just kind of went to practice, and like yeah, swimming wasn't the big deal because school was. And then finally, like after November, I'm feeling a little bummed, and Thanksgiving doesn't really help much because there's nothing to do. So then December comes, and I'm just swimming like normal, and it's like the week before that meet on a Monday. I randomly do some. We have like a sprint set that begins a taper week, and I literally am just blasting through it. Like I'm going high 14s or so, like 15s on backstroke and 14s on 25 a fly, maybe even some 13 highs, and I'm just kind of having a blast that week, which is looking good for me at the meet, and that prediction does come true. I'm throwing a huge amount of time drops like my fly goes from 101.53 to like 58.65. Freestyle goes from like 56.33. No, that was a high school meet, so it's 57.79 for official, down to like 53.69. So yeah, you can imagine what it was like. And after that, finals happen. They're all right, and things should be looking good now that this successful semester happened. Well, obviously the problem is it does not. I come back And literally, we start every Wednesday doing timed 100s, which is like we do heats of swimmers doing the 100 free for as fast as they can. And the sad thing is that like I'm literally in my mind, I'm getting approached. A lot of swimmers I see are going 54s, and that kind of worries me because it makes me feel like that what I did isn't as good as it seemed. Not trying to be negative on anyone, but yeah. And what also does not help is like a meet we have in February. While my group continued to do well, like I did not even come close to what I did at the champ meet because well, part of it was because I didn't taper and I didn't tech suit up, but the other thing was because I just kind of didn't really care at that meet because it's an in season meet and the goal is not always to do the best you can at, when you're so tired. So yeah, but still the problem is I'm kind of like over a little over with this swimming and having to do all this hard practices. So I'm like, how about let's go swim with high school? No more 5 a.m.s. No more having to do what I think are trash sets. So let's go to high school swim. And actually, it helps me for me. We have in late March, and practices are decently fun. Like I literally just kind of cruised through the sets, but that was actually still pretty darn fast. And when we had that meet in March, I actually did unexpectedly well in like my two fly. I remember my two fly dropped like 10 seconds, and two IM also dropped a huge amount. And that 50 and that nice sub 24 50 free was also a good thing, right? But then it doesn't go well after that. Like we like practice continues as normal, but then we have like two meets which are like right before AP exam and a week apart. And high school leagues, and one of them is high school leagues, and that meet freaking takes forever. And I remember in ninth grade when we didn't get back home. The meet started at like 3, and we didn't get back home till like 9:40 or so. So that was late. But leagues still was kind of miserable. We had to be at the pool at 8:30, and the meet did not finish until 5 p.m., which was kind of a huge amount of time we had, which was a huge amount of time. But leagues apparently they're like, nope, we're not going to change this. So I guess meets are just going to always be like this, and we're going to waste like 7 hours of your time. So yeah, and then the next week we literally have like another big meet. And the sad thing is, I don't really do that well at these meets, which is kind of upsetting, because these are before AP exams. So maybe I should get. How should I say this? So maybe I should have done well, like so it was worth the sacrifice of studying for AP exam for these meets. But fortunately, it's not, and it's kind of a disappointment. So so you can tell how I'm feeling with swimming in May, and yeah, I'm not feeling good, and my not feeling good does lead to some tensions with my coach, which can't describe in detail, but yeah, for a while. But then, like, my spirits kind of got up since I knew my grades were kind of good, and since finals were gonna be chill, and by the end of school, like, and during finals week, like, I was just kind of chilling, and I'd always act like I was in a festive mood for some weird reason, but yeah, I was feeling happy, not like defeated in any ways. And and the last week, because we had finals, even though I was chilling that week, like we had played a lot of games during practice, so that was definitely fun. Yeah. So now summer begins, and there's no more school, so I can like focus much more on swimming, and that's exactly what I do. So if you don't know, we usually train once or twice a week at a gym, like because our group is still like not the best, but we're still good. They decide they're gonna give us time to go to a gym and do certain exercises that help you as a swimmer. Like it's not necessarily trying to make you be able to lift like 200 pounds, but you should still be decently strong as a swimmer. So I began a hardcore workout mindset. I began like working much harder, even in aerobic sets, and I actually go to the gym twice a week. Like I actually want to do stuff. And what's really helping me now is that like I always try to lift more than like the girls at least. I know I don't lift some as much as like a handful of the guys, but still something by lifting heavy weights. Not doesn't have to be ultra heavy, but I'm trying to strengthen myself. So this good training has been going on for like 3 weeks, and I feel like I've developed quite a good amount. I have a championship, and yeah, today, or I should say yesterday, because it's already the next day. I had this swim meet where I just did like 3 events. Wasn't really the best, but I know what I need to work on. I just need to kind of work on, like, what was it? Yeah, not having my breath interfere me. Damn it! Why does my breath always slow me down so much? Like, I have to breathe every 4 now on the 100 free. Because if I breathe every 2, I know I'm gonna slow down like hell. So yeah, that's not really the best thing that happened. And yeah, so we got 2 more weeks in my mind of actual training, and then 1 week of taper. So I might just be working on that these last 2 weeks, and let's see how that goes. I hope these last 2 weeks give me some confidence to swim fast at JO's, which is or Bill Rose Classic, which is kind of our championship meet. At least for me. Maybe it's not the championship meet for these like elite swimmers who are going to like futures or junior nationals, but yeah. Hope you enjoyed my story. I know it was kind of long, but I hope you got some good perspective from what it's like to undergo a full season. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.